but as we move in here to Andreas G versus Killer Kiwi, Mr. Quitch, do you see what I see? I see a very good match and some players that are going to be just destroying each other on Sauron. So,
yes, so we're going to go round 5 on the Sauron map, which is also a much smaller map, only a 450 radius, but that one's going to be quite high metal. And as we were seeing when the game launches, we're going to see that there's a big concentration of metal in an area that's only accessible by air. And I think, in actual fact, if anyone remembers the Prof X map, which is that
that's exactly what I was going to mention.
Yeah, it's very much like that, in that whoever controls that area can determine the fate of the game. And I think we're going to see both players battle over that. So let us switch across now to that game. We are going to be watching a game here between Andreas G and Killer Kiwi, two of the top seeds in this tournament, though neither of them now able to claim the first place prize, and on the Sauron map of 102 metal on a 450 radius.
Now this one I personally like. It's like my Forge 2.0. It's a giant open expansion area where your opponent might go docks, and then you can come in with tanks and just beat the living crap out of them. The only issue that I can see though is, of course, just like you mentioned with Planet X, it does have this very strong and very well concentrated outcrop of metal extractors. So it's pretty much kind of going to be a first person to get there, and the first person to get their foot on the ground there will, unless their opponent can try and outroot them, can pretty much turtle that area up and just give themselves a really strong economic lead. Of course, again, as long as their opponent doesn't find some cheeky way to get back in.
Yeah, absolutely. This map very carefully set up to have this open area between the two players, and let's not forget we just lost Andreas Juice, so let's wait for him to reconnect. But let's not forget there's actually quite a bit of metal over on both sides here and here. But this tends to be where you'll see most of the action. The area behind the players has this little alley here that's very easy to lock down, but you can't ignore it. You've got to take the metal out the back as well. Quite a lot out there. And I've generally found that this metal expansion on the back, you're going to want to pelican someone in there. I've seen people do it with air fabbers. Again, just like Diadem, I think it's a mistake. It's far too easy to lose those air fabbers. You really need to get pelican in some vehicle fabbers, I'd recommend, just for the build speed. Get the anti-air up and then start locking it down.
No, actually, thankfully, before Mr. Andreas G decided to leave us and go to the afterlife, we did actually see a bit of an opening here for him. So it looks like we are going to be going with vehicles in air. So, of course, getting onto that getting onto that little island is going to be really important. But really quick, before Mr. Andreas G again does return, we actually see Kiwi. He's got a plan in mind, and it is going to be vehicles and double air first before he even ever looks at some vehicle factories. So I think he's going to be going for a bit of a docks harassment with really focusing on trying to get that little island to himself.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised about this vehicle opening here from Andreas. I think the opening bot is much better. There's this map, only 450, so it seems small, but in actual fact there's quite a lot of space between these large metal areas. There's plenty of potential for harassment around the back. I favour the docks opening here.
I think he might be playing, I mean, you've probably heard it a couple times where I call it the 60% build. You know, you've got one standard build that works just 60% on all, you take all the maps in the pool, and 60% of them will be good enough. I mean, for example, on the map we just played on Aquarius, you know, he's going vehicle into metal into energy, then you get some air, and then you're good. You know, it's a pretty safe and standard build. On a map like this, though, it's not. It's that other 40% where, yes, I very agree with you, Quitch. Going bots first for that just quick mobility, and especially the size of this. It might be only a 450 map radius, but I mean, a lot of this is very open and very just kind of free roaming areas. So if you want to try and get some mobility going, tanks, it's an idea, but you definitely need to get there before your opponent. This is very much a first one to get to this place wins kind of match here.
Well, as well, by committing to the vehicle fabber, you've got yourself the slower expansion rate, so you've got better build speed, but it's going to take you longer to expand at some of these mechs points. And I think you're going to want a couple of bot fabbers just to grab these mechs areas around the back there. It's going to be quicker to get the bot fabbers out. You've got the raiding power of the docks, and then finally bring out your vehicle fabbers to get you that energy that you need. And again, I think that's going to give Killer Kiwi a better expansion potential, and we're going to see his economy ramp up faster than Andreas G, and indeed that's already what's happening.
Just going to point it out because I think it's just absolutely adorable. Commander trying to bust some moves here while trying to build this energy plant. It's just cute. That's all I wanted to say.
Rock those moves, little Gambit. You rock those moves, baby.
Alright, so while that is happening though, Andreas G, getting a scout plane. This is very smooth. I like this placement here out of him. He's got, oh, flame tank. Hello there, sunshine. Where are you gonna go off and burn things for me today? You are gonna be wonderful, because that is one thing that I do see quite a few times here, which players, oh, but guess what? Kiwi's got, nope, the flame tanks don't want to go, but now they do. The indecision. Andreas G trying to figure out a good spot, and ironically enough, I don't think he realized that there was a dox there, but he just completely just dodged and just ninja'd around everything, and this is going to drop down and make the earth shake a little bit, but the hummingbird's in position. He needs to drop these. Oh, it dies.
No, Andreas, you have to watch your pelicans. You can't just ignore them while they fly. You have to be sitting there with the unload command at the ready. I think
it was such a good ninja too. He dodged that one dox, no big deal, and then hummingbirds. Why do they have to patrol around and be good? God.
Well, he had a firefly out there, but he moved it away, which is a huge mistake. I see players do it all too often where they blindly scout with the pelicans, and you really can't. You've got to have a hummingbird, or you've got to have your firefly out there leading the way so you can see those hummingbirds coming, or have a defensive.
Kiwi's looking. He knows. He's like, okay, you just tried to pelican drop me. What's going on here? And I think, and what Andreas G's mentality was, Kiwi's a better player, and that's where we're gonna have an issue here. Andreas G thinks Killer Kiwi is a better player, where in this match right now, they're identical. Kiwi actually is stalling a little bit on energy here. Andreas needs to play with the mindset that he can fight and kill Killer Kiwi. The problem with this is now that first the drop failed, and now he's going to probably start feeling that, okay, the drop failed, I just lost 2 pelicans, I'm going to find that my opponent's starting to get some of these areas here. He's going to start mind gaming himself, and I'm really concerned for JSG now, because if he starts thinking in that mindset, he's going to always feel like he's behind, when in all actuality, he can be a little bit more aggressive and actually take the point and win.
Well, I think he's going for the more standard tank play, so he's already set himself up for a bit defensive play just by going tanks. He's going to roll forward, he's going to lock down each piece of ground, and then he's going to roll forward again. I mean, in any bot versus tanks play, although, you know, Killer Kiwi hasn't committed too heavily to docs, but in that kind of play, the docs player has to lock down the surrounding expansion points as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, the tank player is just going to try and build up a critical mass so they can just punch you straight in the face.
I was actually going to say, if you just kind of look at Kiwi's tabs here, he's definitely going for vehicles, and he's got quite a bit of energy behind this, but I think he needs to build a few more energy plants before he decides to get all this done here, because he's floating, yes, but his energy, okay, now he does take care of it, and now he doesn't. It's going to be a really big factor here, and actually I'm a little concerned for JSG as well. He's got a couple fabricators just kind of enjoying some tea right now, and he's actually floating really hard. Yeah,
well, Killer Kiwi, as you can see, just Killer Kiwi benefiting from the fact that he went bots first is giving him a slightly better expansion. I think, though, that drop by Andreas would have been really nice. If he'd pulled that off, there'd have been a lot of metal lost to Killer Kiwi early on. Those Infernos would have ripped through at least, I think, 3 mechs there, and that would be almost the entire difference we see between the players now. But, yeah, didn't pull it off, and that kind of drop in micro might make the difference later on if we see a lot more planes come into this.
Now this is quite interesting. Neither player is really. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I was gonna say, where's that fabricator that's supposed to be here? It's 5 minutes in. You guys should have like dropped this thing down like, I don't know, 2 minutes ago when you first got that pelican out. He does finally. Oh no!
But there's a bomb up.
Kiwi, don't do it! Don't do it, Kiwi! Don't do it! No. Okay, he's. Oh, with this fabricator, he might have turned into a metal extractor. Nope, never mind.
Yeah, too late again.
Picked off.
We see another problem there. The pelican is the pelican's undefended.
Oh no.
You can't do a pelican, and I see this in so many games, you can't do a pelican drop and then go somewhere else. You have to drop your unit and get it doing stuff immediately, because you are so vulnerable when you've done the first drop. And we see Killer Kiwi now doing a really nice job of locking down these side areas in the area between the 2 bases. Andreas G starting to really struggle there now. We've got turrets going down, he's got armies and docks, and Andreas is just going to start dropping further and further behind, and he really needs that metal out the back. And placing a lot of turrets, but really it's the air his expansion is looking vulnerable to, so I don't think this dual laser he's got going down the back is necessarily what he wants, although saying that...
I'm telling you, he's scared. He feels like what's going on here is Kiwi is just kind of manipulating him in every single way, and really Kiwi's just playing to Andreas's just kind of mindset right now. Andreas is just pushing and pushing and pushing, and Kiwi's just counter this, sidestep that, there's an attack going on here, Andreas's units are over there. I mean, everything is just clicking for Kiwi right now, and Andreas is just feeling the repercussions of this.
Yeah, he's I think just not going Docs first has put him on the real back foot. He's been playing very defensively, and he's been forced to because his opponent's got a very fast moving force. It's quickly locking down side areas, and he hasn't been able to respond to that because he's got all tanks. And if you're going to go all tanks like that, then perhaps you're going to need some air to act as your mobility instead. But he hasn't got that. In fact, it's Killer Kiwi who's been dominating the air as well. And now we see the walls go up deep in his base, and on the wrong side of the metal point as well, sadly. And that's really. But Killer Kiwi still, Andreas is managing to build up a reasonably nice force of tanks. So Killer Kiwi is going to have to be careful about this. Andreas is starting to get himself together, and Killer Kiwi floating with that metal lead he's got. So it's let's have a look at the army count. And again, yeah, they're pretty even there, and Andreas got a bit more factories. So it's far from over.
Well, far from over, but we can see that Kiwi does have the greater economy, so he might have the might be on point with the factories, but of course, greater economy, you can spend that a lot quicker than the opponent that might not have as much. And actually, as I talk about economy, Andreas G making a great push in here to grab some of these metal extractors. These turrets, they're going to do some good work here, but it's just not going to be enough. And these tanks should get all 4 of these remaining metal extractors, and that's going to throw Kiwi pretty much on the same point here with Andreas G. So very good play out of Andreas G. He needs to keep going now. He can't just let this sit here. And neither one's really gotten this little island spot. I'm very surprised, Quitch. Neither one is really trying to sit something down here and say, all right, this is mine. You can't have this. Both of them just kind of keep throwing units at it to say, all right, you're going to try and make a move. Well, I'm going to stop you. And then you're going to stop me. And neither one's really trying to actually sit down and say, all right, this is mine. You can't have this. There's turrets here. Stop it. And I think we are actually, as I mentioned, Andreas might be setting up again for another move here, but Kiwi's units, they're literally on the other side, nibbling on some of his metal extractors right now. Kiwi, at the same time, though, getting some tier 2 up here, going to start setting himself up for a much later, stronger late game here, and I guess that just kind of, Quitch. You know what that tells me? Someone's scared.
He's have to be pushing down the wrong side, because that's the side that Killer Kiwi's got locked down tight. But he's not defending anything there, so it's out this push here, absolutely pointless. No reason to go that way. You could just go around the side, completely bypass all his defences, and hit the metal. He needs to get the hell out of there. He's going to have to stop that pelter push eventually, but that's really why he needs an air force. And he's really given up the air. He's lost these metal spots around the back, and he's again dropped the Faber in the metal area.
Oh, okay, you didn't see that. No, okay, my apologies then.
But he's not using it, and we've seen that issue with him a few times in this game now. And again, with his push into that metal spot off the side, his attack just stopped because he's not able to get enough attention, and it's really costing him all these little attention slips where he's not gaining the advantage that he should be.
Now, I would like to point out here really quick, we did just see some boombots cleaning up tanks. Now, if Kiwi is any kind of the player that I know, well, actually, he's got commanders, he's got Docs just babysitting that commander right now. Kiwi will realize that there are some boombots here, so I think he's going to realize that Andreas is kind of setting himself up here for a really big all-in kind of push, and then if he happens to see the commander, just try and work those boombots in to do their thing. And, I mean, you can see it right now, he's got a lot of tanks just kind of sitting on the borders right now, and he's trying to set himself up here for a really big push, and it's going to be awkward because I think this vehicle factory might just finish before it's done, and if that happens, then Kiwi's just going to have a really good position with those levelers just being able to just destroy those tanks. We do see on the back little island there, the Fabricator is finally getting some anti-air up to start building some stuff, but I think Andreas is in a completely different world right now with these tanks now just completely getting destroyed by these tanks from Kiwi, and they're going to trade out, but this attack is going to get completely nullified.
Yeah, I think Kiwi's made a really nice tier 2 decision there. He's used the lull in Andreas' play, and Andreas putting no pressure on Kiwi at all, which has allowed Kiwi to do this tech, and that tech is going to lead to his economy booming now. Or he's coming up with the levelers, actually. I would expect to see a couple of tier 2 Fabs first start booming that eco. But he smells Andreas' weakness. His force just punched
He smells the weakness. I was going to say maybe he smells blood, but hey, maybe he can smell fear. Maybe he's a teacher.
He can smell the weakness, and Andreas G clumping up all his units to attack a fortification he doesn't need to assault. Really poor placement. He needs to be on the other flank.
He's going in with these boombots.
BMW's doing some good work, but unfortunately, again, didn't move them, so a lot of them sitting off to the side. So rather than them overwhelming that tank force, they attacked in two halves, allowing those tanks to survive, where they should now actually be dead. And these tanks now from Andreas G going to attack this position, and why? Why are they attacking this position? There is no reason he needs to assault this area. There is no defences anywhere else. He could literally go anywhere, and it'll be a better spot than that.
Because he's 2 words, Quitch. He's scared. Well, technically he is, but it's 3.5. We'll go with 2.5. He's scared. He knows he has to get something done. Kiwi's just gotten into his base, killed off a metal extractor, and he's actually getting up some tier 2 of his own, which it's going to be, I think, too little too late, but he does make the break here, and we might see a bit of an attack here. Originally, I was thinking Andreas G was going to immediately move in once he realized that Kiwi was moving as a bit of like this base trade, like, I'm going to KO you, you're going to KO me, and then we'll just have one big old KO family. And it's not going to be enough. There's levelers in this mix here, and these tanks, they might have enough, but the problem is they're shooting at some metal extractors in the back, and these, oh my god, if you look at these tanks, they're really indecisive. They keep switching back and forth instead of firing here, and this army, which should have cleaned up Kiwi's army, just gets destroyed. I mean, obviously the bobbers would have cleaned it up, but it was weird. I saw the tanks just starting to do this little jig as they did their little dance, their final dance there, and Kiwi stops that really big push from Andreas, and now, if Andreas isn't scared now, he is saying his final prayers here, for sure. Yeah,
Andreas has been far too aggressive. He's letting Kiwi call all the shots. That's why Kiwi is now just have to roll into the centre with just Fabbers. There wasn't even any support, just Fabbers, and build up all these defences. And Armin turned up later because Andreas isn't scouting properly. He's not forcing Kiwi to react to his play. He's just playing entirely into Kiwi's hands.
Oh, this is bad here. This commander, he's in his own little world, sure, but guess what? His base is completely exposed to the evil hand of the teacher Kiwi, and this is bad. His commander's going to be safe, no doubt, until I guess Kiwi decides to get a couple of pelters up, but his entire base now is just open to Kiwi. There is nothing really stopping him besides the units, but the units are on the other side of the map, or on the other side of the choke point. But hang on a minute, hang on. These units are getting closer to each other, and if Andreas sees this could be bad.
No, there's not enough tanks there for Andreas to win that, and the commander's so near his
We've seen weirder things, Quitch. Come on.
Well, we're seeing now Kiwi coming in through the back of Andreas' base as well. I think this is really the end. For Andreas G knows it as well. He's pushing out with his commander, with his boombots, but unfortunately he's on completely the wrong side of the map, and again has absolutely no intel.
Boombots were pushing him towards the turrets.
He's got no intel on the location of Kiwi's commander at all, and yeah, and there we go. There's the GG. I think we even saw when he reconnected and his uncertainty that his confidence is taken. Andreas G, incredibly strong player. We've seen him do really well in tournaments.
That was the thing. Last Mystery Mayhem, I think he got, what, 5th? And, I mean, I was talking about him as got thrown off by CC. Yeah, you're right, Quitch. It was that DC.
They had to go inside for rain, and he wasn't the same player when he came back out again.
That's
tennis references, people. Tennis references.
Oh, see, I was making teacher references, but now you're getting in physical sports. What are you, a nerd?
But yeah, unfortunately, it's surprising really, because if you look at the stats over the game, I think we'll see that the players weren't that far apart, eco, troops, factories at any point. Yet it always felt like Andreas G was losing hard.
I mean, it's life, man. Oh goodness, he's being humble about it.
They're hugging it out.
Mannered. Just blow up already so we can move on. This hurts. This hurts. Just put Old Yeller down. It's done. Just end it, please.
Yeah, they're hugging it out there, and yeah, Andreas G just coming in with the commander here for a final last moment of glory with the dire machine. Let's get in here and take a look at this bad boy.
I mean, at least, or please hit Control M so we can get that sweet cinematic view. Please, just Control M it.
We're already there. We're already there.
Good, man. Good. Let the final vestiges of this commander, let them remember him as the one who didn't give up, the one that even against all uncertainty...
He's being pushed by Kiwi.
He gets mugged. The doc's trying to take his money, shoving him against the volcano. Boom goes the dynamite. Killer Kiwi is the winner. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed. Andreas G is a fantastic player. I think he got knocked off his horse just from that disconnect and just never really was able to hop back on.
Well, I think even looking at his opening, he approached this map all wrong, and we saw a few weaknesses in his play with the way that he do drops, but he wasn't following up. He wasn't monitoring his pelicans well enough. If you're going to do drops, you've got to have them. You know, put your pelican in a pip or something, so you can see the second it's finished, and you can get right on with whatever it is it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, yeah, just Drop the ball a little there.